I want to show you something. This is my birth certificate, the one my parents gave me when I was 12. When I asked why my eyes looked different from theirs, "You were adopted," my mom said. "We chose you. We wanted you so badly." And I believed that. I believed every single word. For 23 years, I believed it. What I didn't know had nobody told me was that this document is a lie, a very expensive one. My parents paid $3,000 to make sure I would never find out the truth, but somebody on the other side of the world was looking for me the whole time. Growing up. Warm up slightly. This is the normal life section. Make viewers feel the comfort before the crack. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My parents, Karen and David, were the kind of people who coached Little League and made pancakes on Sunday mornings. They were good people. I want to be really clear about that. They were genuinely good people. We didn't look alike, but that never felt weird to me. I knew I was Korean. I knew I was adopted. My parents had a framed photo of Korea on the living room wall and made sure I knew kimchi wasn't weird food. But here's the thing about being adopted as a baby. You don't grieve what you don't remember. I didn't miss a mother I'd never known. I had a mother. Her name was Karen, and she packed my lunch and cried at my graduation and drove 4 hours to visit me in college. The questions I had were small, quiet ones. Why did I look the way I looked? Was there a version of me somewhere living a different life? Did anyone over there ever think about me? I let those questions sit in a drawer, closed, and opened that until the drawer started opening on its own. The first crack. Pace flows here. Let discomfort show. This is where the audience leans in. I was 23 when I took one of those at-home DNA tests. No dramatic reason. My roommate and I did it together on a Friday night. Splitting a bottle of wine, treating it like a fun thing to do. Her results came back totally normal, Irish and English, just like she expected. Mine came back with a notification I didn't understand. There was a close family match, not a second cousin, not a distant relative, a first-degree match. The system flagged it as immediate family, the category reserved for parents, siblings, or children. The name on the profile was in Korean. The account had been active for years. I stared at my screen for probably 40 minutes. My brain kept offering me explanations that made sense. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's a glitch. Maybe I have a sibling who was also adopted and we just never knew about each other. I sent a message through the platform. Simple, careful, hello. I think we might be related. I was adopted from Korea in 2001. 3 hours later, she replied. And she replied in English, careful, deliberate English. And the first thing she wrote was, "I have been looking for you since the day they took you from me. The truth comes out." Pause before starting this section. If you need to collect yourself, do it on camera. It's real. Her name is Jisoo. She was 19 years old when she had me and married, living in Seoul. Completely alone in a situation that, in 2001, carried enormous social shame in many communities. She told me she had asked for more time. She had told the adoption agency she wasn't sure. She had begged for 60 days to figure out her situation. She says she was told I had already been placed, that it was done. But here's what she didn't know, and what I didn't know until I started digging, is that the paperwork showing her consent had been submitted before she'd even signed it. The $3,000 my parents paid, that wasn't a standard adoption fee. Records we later pieced together, and I want to be careful here, because I can't verify every piece of this, suggested it was paid to an intermediary who specialized in expediting things, making paperwork move faster than it should. My mother in Seoul was still asking questions about me when I was already on a plane. When I found this out, I didn't feel angry right away. That's not how it hit me. I felt like the floor had dissolved. Because everything I thought I knew about the story of my life, the story that shaped who I am, how I think about love and belonging and family, it had a different first chapter. And nobody had ever told me. Confronting my parents. Steady voice here. Not yelling, something heavier than anger. Quiet devastation lands harder. I drove home to Ohio. I sat down with my mom and dad at the kitchen table. The same one where I did homework, where we played cards on holidays, where we had every important conversation of my childhood. I put my phone on the table. I showed them Jisoo's name. I showed them the DNA match. My mom's face did something I'd never seen it do before. She already knew. They both already knew. My dad said, and these are close to his exact words, we were told that the birth mother had released you. We were told it was legal and clean and that you would have a better life. We paid what we were asked to pay. We didn't ask more questions than that. And I'm sorry. I am so deeply sorry that we didn't. I don't know exactly what to do with that. I'm still sitting with it. They didn't steal me in the way a stranger would steal something. They wanted a child and they trusted a system and they paid to make the process move and they chose not to look too hard at what that meant. That's not innocent, but it's also not the same as knowing she was begging for more time. Or maybe it is. I go back and forth. The hardest part is that I still love them, and I didn't expect the love to still be there after all of this. I thought the truth would wash it away. It didn't. Meeting Jisoo. This is the softest part. Slow down. Pause. Let silence work for you. For months after that first message, I flew to Seoul. I don't have the words to describe standing in that airport and seeing a woman walking toward me. A stranger, and recognizing my own face and hers. Not exactly, not perfectly, but enough. She had my hands. I have her mouth. We both do this thing where we cover it when we laugh. We sat in a cafe for 6 hours. She had brought a translator, but we ended up barely needing one. Some things don't need translation. She showed me photos. She had kept a box, an actual cardboard box, for 23 years. Inside were photos of herself, pregnant. A small blanket. A note she had written to me in Korean on the day she thought she was getting 60 more days. She had never thrown it away. She had never stopped hoping I would come back to ask. I asked her to read it to me. She did. I don't know what it said word for word. The translator was quiet, and some things felt too private to repeat here. But I can tell you that by the end, we were both crying in a cafe in Seoul, and the people around us were very graciously pretending not to notice. She isn't trying to be my mother. I want to say that clearly. She isn't asking me to replace anything or choose anyone. She just wanted me to know that she looked. That she never decided I wasn't worth finding. That's everything. Really, that's the whole thing. Where I am now. Come back to camera close-up. Speak directly to anyone in the audience who might be adopted or searching. I'm still figuring out what my family is. I have a mom in Ohio who taught me to drive and held my hand when I had my wisdom teeth out. And I have a woman in Seoul who carried me and wrote me a letter she never knew if I'd read. Both of those things are true. I'm allowed to hold both.